Das sind die Stimmen der Kriegsminister.
Good God, y'all! What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Say it again.
War is an ineffective tool of policy. In the 20th century, most aggressive wars have failed. Two successful wars I can think of: Israel in 1967 and Turkey in 1974. What about Vietnam's invasion of Cambodia or the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan? The latter was obviously a failure. Wasn't Vietnam's goal the overthrow of the Khmer Rouge? I guess they succeeded at that, but then it was just a quagmire. And those were both weak and modest gains anyway. Other successful wars were internal, such as in Vietnam again, alongside other wars of independence. But what about the world wars? I'm coming to the conclusion that World War I really was the fault of the German Empire. Not through a desire of, let's conquer the world, but rather the evolutionary logic of the German state. What do I mean by this? From the 1700s on, the Kingdom of Prussia launched aggressive wars to great success. From Frederick the Great in 1740, the War of the Austrian Succession, and 1756, the 7 Years' War. Then in 1813 with the War of Liberation and the gains in the Congress of Vienna and afterwards, to Bismarck's wars against Denmark in 1864, Austria in 1866, and provoking a declaration of war from, not on, Napoleon III's France in 1870. The logic of the military establishment of the German Empire, which could well be called the Prussian Empire, was, if we launch an aggressive war, we will benefit. If we help a big war to happen, we will benefit. This was not an act of absolutism on the part of the emperor, the Kaiser. William II talked aggressively, sure, but the German Empire was really interesting in that it was a mix of different elements. There was a popular assembly with universal male suffrage, the Reichstag, with multiple parties. Their power was very limited, but regular people clearly cared a lot about it. The socialists even won a majority in the 1912 elections. Russia tried to make a similar arrangement in 1905, but the Tsar shut down the Duma. And Austria-Hungary, reformed in the compromise after the Prussian War, followed the German mixed system, but was far more multi-ethnic. In July 1914, the various logics of states as they grew in Europe since the French Revolution played out, and only the French and the British survived the conflict. In 1919, there was no stable independent government between the Rhine and the Pacific. Some states, like China, Portugal, and Mexico, collapsed before the war began. And the Ottomans had their revolution beforehand. That also played a role. Twice in the 20th century, the Germans learned the limits of aggressive war. Will America and Russia learn those lessons in the 21st? Only time will tell.